Okay, here's a question for you. In your opinion, what is the worst run sports team ever? Some might say the Oakland Athletics, which is fair. How about this for an answer? This team was so badly managed that they didn't last 2 full seasons. Not enough? Okay. How about only winning 9 times during their entire existence? Still not enough? Okay. How about that this team didn't even show up to one of their home games and folded as an organization all before making an announcement about it? Yeah, it was bad. And I'm not even done yet. So have a seat. I have a story to tell. It's 2021 and the operators of the David S. Palmer Arena are holding a meeting. They are deciding if they want to continue their contract with the Danville Dashers of the Federal Prospects Hockey League or give a new contract to a new team. The Dashers did not participate in the 2020 season due to the pandemic, and the team just came off of a 19-36-4 season and just had a 26-18-3 record before the season was stopped. The operators voted to remove the Dashers as a tenant and to give a new hockey team a contract for the upcoming season. And in April, the Southern Professional Hockey League announced that the Vermilion County Bobcats would replace the Dashers and join their league. The Bobcats were the 11th team in the SPHL and the third team based in Illinois. I know, the Southern Professional Hockey League has 3 teams in Illinois and 1 in Indiana. I don't know why it's like that, but it's not my call, so let's get back on topic. This team had some struggles starting up, and because of the pandemic, it's hard to blame them. They hired Brent Hughes as their first head coach, but he couldn't travel from Canada to Danville because of border restrictions. They then decided on Mike Watt, who had 4 years of NHL experience, to man the helm for the team's inaugural season. To add to their struggles, their opening weekend games on October 15th and 16th were canceled due to poor ice conditions in the arena. It's not really their fault, but since it happened to them, I can't overlook it. The team would play their first ever game against the Quad City Storm on the road and lost 3-2. Okay, so they lost their first ever game. No big deal. It's their first game ever as a team. They'll win eventually. Well, I spoke too soon. They're 0-4 to start the season. Yikes. Coach Watt ended up leaving the team after 4 games. 4! He didn't even coach a home game yet, and he didn't even win one. He was replaced by Nick Nidert. I'll just call him Coach Nick for now. Anyways, Coach Nick would take over the team in November. To say that this team was bad is an understatement. The team rarely won. Anytime they did, the entire league would celebrate. And if you lost to them, you would be embarrassed. They were basically a free win for whoever they played against. They obviously didn't reach the playoffs that season. They finished with a 5-46-5 record. I am not making a joke. They only won 5 games that year and racked up a whopping 15 points. That is horrible. The fan base suffered too. Attendance was low. Actually, you know what? I take that back. It was worse than that. It was almost non-existent. In a league where other teams like Huntsville, Knoxville, and Peoria, and multiple other teams have an average attendance in the thousands every night, Vermilion County could only attract around 500 fans on a good night. And honestly, I believe it wasn't even close to 500, and they just didn't want to say the actual number. But you can't blame the fans completely. I wouldn't want to go pay to watch my team get wrecked every night. They would sometimes get around 900, but in comparison with the other teams, that's still below average. A quick thing to also mention, social media was not on par with the other teams. Whenever a player got traded or something, the graphics would be low quality. It was a picture of a player staring into the camera like a mugshot and placed in front of a red background. That's it. That's seriously it. The player wasn't even cut out of his picture. I bet I could have made a better graphic with an arm behind my back. It was low quality and low effort, kind of like the team on the ice. Whenever they posted on socials about who they were playing against, it was a low effort photo. As a TV and film student in university, I hated seeing those posts. Good lord. Their Twitter is still up, and it isn't pretty. All you'll see now is a thread announcing the team's folding. If you scroll, they kept retweeting about dirt racing rather than ice hockey. Strange. Heading back into the team's performance, as of April of 2022, the season had been long over for the Bobcats, and they missed the playoffs. So they needed a new coach. So Coach Nick would be replaced by David Ayers. Yes, that David Ayers. The Zamboni driver who came in as an emergency goalie for the Hurricanes and defeated the Leafs. That guy. This was his professional coaching debut. Now, we've been ignoring the front office all this time, so we're going to take a peek. The owner, whose name I'm not going to say because I don't want to take the risk of getting sued, has plenty of hockey job experience in her resume. According to the team's website that nobody has bothered to remove yet, she has been working in many levels of pro hockey for 20 years. She had all the experience an owner could need. But given how this team has been performing this season, I'm not so sure if owning a team was the right decision. But I don't know, so let's move on. Okay, so last season sucked terribly, and we're a meme now in the hockey world. But it's okay. We have another season to make it right. It's finally 2023, so let's see how the Bobcats are doing. Oh my goodness. They've only won 3 games so far in a season that started in late October. This is looking very grim, but there's still plenty of hockey left. Maybe we'll have a miracle. Alright, it's game day. We're playing the defending SPHL champions on the road. Well, hell, it looks like another loss in the books. Let's just get this game over with and try to score a few goals while we're there. Swallow the loss. It'll be fine. As long as you don't let them score 7 on us, it'll feel like a win. Hello? They what? In the biggest upset in SPHL history, the Bobcats defeated the defending champion Rivermen 4-2 on the road. This result was so shocking that all the SPHL fan bases united and celebrated. The team celebrated like they won the championship. This was the biggest moment in the team's history. That 4-2 win was only their 4th win of the season and their 9th overall. But little did anyone know at the time that would be their final win in franchise history. If you follow hockey online, there's a fair chance you've heard about what happens next. But if you haven't, get ready. The Quad City Storm were on the road to take on the Bobcats. A whopping 409 fans were in attendance for the game. The Storm came out of their dressing room to step onto the ice for warm-ups. There's a problem though. The Bobcats are nowhere to be seen. Nobody's on the bench, nobody's in the hallway leading to or in the dressing rooms. No one's there. 30 minutes became 15, still no Bobcats. The final buzzer goes off to end warm-ups. The Storm return to their dressing room, still no sign of the Bobcats. The team returns to the ice for lineups and line up for the national anthem. Still no Bobcats. They line up for the opening faceoff. The puck is dropped. Still no Bobcats. I am not making this up. The Bobcats no-showed their own home game. Nobody was there for the team. The owner, coaches, medical staff, players, nobody. It was like the team vanished out of thin air. Fans were up in arms about it. They came to see a game, not pre-game ceremonies. Eventually, the refs had seen enough and they called the game a forfeit win for the Storm. The Storm leave their bench and step onto the ice to congratulate each other on their win. As they skate off, a Storm player skates to center ice and stabs the Bobcats logo with his hockey stick, poetically finishing off the team. The game ended in a 1-0 forfeit. The fans were understandably upset, but in an act of class, the entire Storm team came back and invited all the fans onto the ice to hang out with them, take pictures, sign autographs, and make up for the fans who wanted to see a game. Well done, guys. In the immediate aftermath of the no-show, SPHL fans were stunned and demanded answers. Fans rushed to the team's social media accounts to look for some sort of announcement or explanation. Things became grim when it was discovered that the team's Facebook had been taken down hours before the no-show game, which made some people aware that something was going to happen. An unnamed employee spoke up and talked about how he had been informed before the game that the team was done and that he was out of a job, but not much was said. Days later, the team put out a tweet announcing the team's cease of operations effective immediately. Of course, there was a mix of feelings about all this. Some were understandably gutted at the sight of losing their team. Some were roasting them in the comments, but most people were more confused than anything. But no explanation was given. And that is the story of the Vermilion County Bobcats.